Opinions about Auburn and Baylor are all over the place.
And it literally doesn't make any sense.
You are Locked On College Crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yes, this is a crossover edition of Locked On Auburn and Locked On Baylor. I'm Zach Blackerby, host of Locked On Auburn. That is the Cam Stuart, host of Locked On Baylor. Our two teams play this month. This month in a very, very important game, which is exciting. I've got some weird questions to ask you about Baylor.
Okay.
You've got an interesting question about an interesting developing story about Hugh Freeze asked the defense.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
To take it easy on Jackson Arnold. Whoa.
Dave Aranda will be saying the same thing, I think.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, let's don't blitz him as much. Let's see what happens there. But look, opinions are all over the place on both of these teams. Neither team made it in the top 25 of the coaches poll, but they're right next to each other if you continue to rank it out as far as, others receiving votes. Because I do think these teams are close. Both these teams could be ranked. And in fact, in some individual analysts' opinions, they are. I mean, Phil Steele, extremely high on Baylor. Yep. And then, lots of national folks throughout On3 and 247, they have Auburn in the top 15, or they have throughout the offseason. So it's just interesting how the opinions vary so much about both of these squads. And somebody's going to be right and somebody's going to be wrong come the season opener.
Yeah. And if I may be so bold, I might even call this the 53 game. What I mean by that, Zach, is, we got an 80 podcast here, 240s.
240s out of 40s. Yes.
And if these two teams are not in the top 25, then I've got them as 26 and 27. And if you add those two together, we got ourselves a good old-fashioned 53 game.
Did you just come up with that?
A little bit, yeah. That's why it wasn't that's why it wasn't that good.
But I mean, you said if you may be so bold. Is that it? Was that the whole take?
That's as bold as I'm getting right there. 26.
Pretty bold.
If you don't have the cojones to put a number next to their names, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna be forced to do that. You're putting us in the corner. 26 and 27. It is kind of too bad. I know preseason polls, whatever, for the most part, right?
Sure.
Whatever.
But especially when you're coaches poll, the AP poll, I think, has a little bit more oomph to it. Yeah. I think.
And the other thing too is, when you've got a big matchup week one, people see this in February, March, April, and they're like, great game. Saturday is going to be an awesome slate, but here we go, Friday night, Baylor, Auburn, home at home, not an neutral site. Love that.
Yeah.
And you kind of want the numbers next to that one.
Yeah, sure.
In fact, I think the networks want that. Fox wants that.
I would think so. They also may know that they're going to have eyes on it regardless. I mean, it's the game Friday night for sure. But I mean, the questions about both these teams, I do think are legitimate. And some of it, you're going to roll your eyes because of the whole Big 12 stuff. But
I will.
Yeah, I mean, the last 8 games of the year, I mean, you played a bunch of different high school teams, right?
Well,
that's essentially what that was.
Texas high school teams, that's legit.
That's almost college, right?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, the lower part of the Big 12 for sure. But you won them. Auburn played against teams last year that they should have beaten and they didn't. So whatever. All you can do is win the games that are on your schedule. So I'm not taking anything away from Baylor on that. But I think that's the argument against Baylor.
Sure.
And on Auburn, it's I think you look on paper, blue chip ratio and all that stuff. Their roster is incredibly gifted. It's incredibly talented, and it's deep at a lot of positions that matter more than other positions. And the question is okay, yeah, but can Hugh Freeze do it? Which I think is a reasonable question to ask going into year 3. He knows it. You know it. I know it. Everybody watching is very well aware of it. And I think we may know the answer after this game. I think we're going to know a lot about where Auburn and Baylor are based on how this game unfolds.
Yeah, and I think both teams are approaching it that way. And I mean, I would say especially in college football, but I think we see this a little bit in the NFL too. If you get a big matchup like that week one, that does kind of determine a lot of how you go. the rest of the season, even though it really doesn't matter, on the record towards, the conference or even a college football playoff. If we're going to get,
I think it matters more for Baylor, because I think Baylor has a better shot to win the Big 12 than Auburn does to win the SEC.
I'd say so. I'd hope so. Anyway,
sure.
But yeah, it's one of those things where you gotta, if you lose this game, you've got to keep everyone focused and actually have them believe that everything's in front of you. And in Baylor's standpoint, if they lost this game, you really need to do that, because you got an SMU team the next week that made the college football playoff last year, and you got to go on the road to play them on the road with their 10,000 fans in the stands. There's not many schools that Baylor can chirp at with that. SMU is one of them.
Hey, go for it, my guy. Good for you.
There it is. It's going to be a neutral site game. It's an hour and a half from Baylor, just outside of Dallas. They'd have you believing they're in downtown Dallas. And so that'll be a nice little neutral site game.
Are they not in downtown Dallas?
They're not. You're not going to believe this.
So they're just lying?
With this Dallas uniforms. Should say University Park.
Interesting.
Highland Park.
Is that a shot?
It's a little bit of a shot.
If you're familiar with Texas geography, is that a shot?
It's a little bit of a shot, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have that. I've just recently relocated to Boston. We take the same shot at Boston College. It's not in Boston. So I've been used to it. Yeah. You're not going to believe this, Zach. Real quick aside. Boston College, not in Boston, not a college. It's a university, and it's in Newton.
My least favorite thing in the naming of schools is when there's a state after it and it's not a state.
You and my old lady would get along.
Like, how does that make sense? San Diego State. What? Auburn's next opponent after you guys, Ball State.
When did
Ball is life?
Become a state?
Ball is not a state. Can we all agree on that? That's ridiculous.
I think we can agree on that.
It doesn't make any sense.
We can agree on that.
If it was called San Jose, State, I think we'd have a problem. It's not. It's not. Which
it's also
is good.
not the University of Baylor or Baylor. Depending on who we get on the broadcast, you might hear a little bit of that. It's not Baylor.
Got it.
I don't even remember what the original question was. I just
think it's overall speculation of, opinions are all over the place on these teams. Yeah. I mean, what do you think the most accurate thing is? Like, are both teams ranked like top 20? Like, should they be like top 20 teams, or are they outside of the top 25? Like, which one of those do you think is more?
I think they're more likely. Yeah, I think they're more likely to be right outside the top 25 than inside the top 20. I was very kind of particular about this. I thought both these teams had a shot at the top 25 and both between 20 and 25, right? Like, because of the way they do this, obviously there is some credence to having a good transfer portal class, and Auburn had an excellent transfer portal class. That does play into it. Tech is basically in the top 25 because of their transfer portal class. Now, they did win 8 games last year, which was the same as Baylor. Hand up, got a cop to it. Baylor beat them by like 1 billion points in Lubbock, but
and by
they
Tech,
did
you mean Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, yes. Okay. Sorry.
This is not just a Big 12 show right now.
Yes, I apologize.
It goes on the Auburn feed as well.
I like to think of myself as a man of faith. But I think you would both see them in between 20 and 25. I really thought that Auburn was getting enough momentum in the offseason, and Baylor on their part, didn't have a great transfer portal class. They didn't really need one. They brought so much back. They brought most of their returners back from last year, but it kind of goes back to your point, Zach. And I think Baylor's probably a little underrated going into this season, but I think they were properly rated at the end of last season. They weren't ranked at any point. They didn't beat a ranked team. If they had beaten LSU in the bowl game, they probably would have finished in the final poll top 25, barely, but they probably would have been there, and they didn't. So, we know that as someone who covers this every day and those Big 12 fans, like, we know that these players are good, but the nation probably doesn't know that just yet.
Yeah, for sure.
They will soon.
Take it easy on Jackson Arnold. That's been a thing that's been discussed, apparently on the Baylor side of things too. Let's jump into that in just a moment, right here on Locked On Auburn and Locked On Baylor.
Baylor.
It's a crossover show. This episode brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Can you imagine wagering on sports anywhere other than with our friends at FanDuel? Can you imagine that?
So dumb, man. I'm sorry. No, I can't. I can't.
That'd be ridiculous.
I like money, so I do FanDuel.
Yeah, they give away money like I don't understand their business model. I'm going to be 100% real with you. They just give away money all the time. You can bet on Auburn and Baylor right now. If you're an Auburn person listening, you're like, gosh, Cam Stuart grinds my gears, or vice versa. Baylor guys like, I just want to take it out on Zach. But bet on FanDuel. It's that easy. Baylor, a 1.5-point favorite right now. And the over-under 56.5. Over-under, just real quick. Over-under, real quick.
Over.
You know what? Over?
Over.
Over? Yeah.
Life's too short. Yep.
Same. Yeah. Bet the over.
And I also believe it. Yeah.
If you're new to FanDuel, which I don't know why you haven't tried it yet, but if you're new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if that first bet wins. Once again, don't understand the business model, but that's where we are. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn or Locked On Baylor your first listen every single day. For your second listen to the other show. That'd be awesome.
Why not?
It's that time.
You got to build it up to this thing, man.
Yeah, I think so. We're all in. It's August.
Zach wanted to do 3 crossovers a week. I had to talk him down from that.
Yeah.
He's like, I only want to talk about Baylor this month. I get that. That's what the nation is thinking. You know,
I'm so eager. All right. So you guys have seen the headlines of Hugh Freeze reportedly, and I mean, he answered the question at a press conference, which I guess kind of confirmed it. I didn't really want to believe it until he didn't shut it down at the opening of fall camp. I'm like, oh, that happened. But yeah, apparently instructing DJ Durkin to go easy on Jackson Arnold. Take it easy. We need to build up his confidence. And how that got out is just wild to me.
Nuts.
It's wild to me. Which I mean, pretty transparent guy. Some stuff, it's I don't know. I don't think that's
both these coaches, man,
say that.
Transparent to a fault. It usually gets them into some sort of trouble, right? Dave Aranda's using non-PC terms. He has to apologize. Hugh Freeze is
did he apologize for that?
Yes, he did. He had to open up his media availability, a little bit of an apology. And Hugh Freeze telling his NFL defensive backs, hey man, hey, we need Jackson. All right, we gotta take it easy on him. I
know you're covering future NFL receivers, and you're gonna be an early draft pick, but he's got to get confident.
That must have had the message boards just on fire.
It was pretty wild. So the way it started was, I believe it was at Media Days a few weeks ago. Cole Kubelik, who's a former Auburn player, SEC Network, ESPN guy, and he kind of broke it. And I'm like, oh, great. And
interesting.
I don't know why Cole wouldn't I don't know why you would make that up, right? And then when Hugh confirmed, it's oh, okay, got it. So I talked to a lot of Oklahoma people during the week of Media Days about Jackson Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
And they love Jackson, right? They think he's really good. His situation in Oklahoma wasn't ideal and all that stuff. But the big thing was he's got to get his confidence back, because the biggest thing against Jackson is he held onto the ball too long because he was afraid to make a mistake. Yeah, that's a pretty normal thing when you're dealing with a quarterback who's running for his life and doesn't have anyone to throw to. That's a pretty normal thing.
Yeah.
Auburn saw it with Jarrett Stidham to some extent, which this is a Jarrett Stidham podcast, right? Baylor.
Official podcast.
Forever.
Jarrett Stidham.
Bo Nix to some extent too. And then of course, Bo Nix goes to Oregon and is fantastic. But that report, there are reports coming out of Auburn's fall camp now that he's still holding on to it a little too long. And it's early, but don't love that.
Especially because what does get the confidence back? It's usually the actual games, right? Performing well in games. Of course, you got to do it in practice in order to do it in the game. But
we're talking about practice.
That kind of unleashes, right? And
yeah,
again, we're not talking about a top of the SEC kind of defense he's playing week 1, but he is going in a true road game week 1 against a Power 4 team. You'd rather that be against some state that's not a state.
Correct.
Sack. Ball.
Which let's just...
San Jose. Bowling Green.
Boise.
All these states.
Yeah.
It's just litany of states, man.
That aren't real.
Don't let them.
You have the audacity.
It's real.
It's you're sitting there about to name your school, and it's hear me out. Let's name it something that's not a state. It's where are you right now? Oh, we're in San Diego. San Diego State.
The state of it.
And everybody in the room's yeah, let's do that. That's great. It's I hope that's not taken.
What? There's so many. Jax, San Diego, Florida, like just made up places, man. Just absolute made up states.
Florida made up place. Yeah, for sure. It doesn't exist. Yeah.
Idaho.
Yeah. I mean, what was the Baylor point of view? Like, I assume that this is circulated all throughout the Baylor fan base. What's been the reaction to this story?
It is pretty great. That kind of is what ushered it into kind of the buildup. I'm not making that make sense, but when that story came out, everyone was like, "Oh man, now I really can't wait for August 29th." Now,
because like if you've got any kind of opinion, like I'm sure opinions on Dave Aranda are all over the place throughout the Baylor fan base.
Yep,
I think, but like if there's one thing that he still got is ways to generate pressure. And that is my biggest concern in this right now.
I'll tell you what, this is the time. Like Dave Aranda, we've been waiting a couple years now for like a true Dave Aranda Saturday afternoon, in this case, Friday night, masterpiece, like game plan masterpiece. This is it.
Could be.
Okay.
Not gonna be Saturday afternoon though. Hate to break it to you.
Yeah, it's not gonna be that.
Friday night special, not like Saturday afternoon.
This kind of has to be it. He was the defensive play caller last year for the first time, and it didn't go very well. It wasn't a disaster, but they didn't have a very good defense last year. They won games with their offense.
Sure.
Now, it's not like coming off a bye week. You've got 8 months to prepare for this thing. You know, you've got a whole fall camp to prepare for this thing. They didn't go against Jackson Arnold, but certainly they would have been familiar with Jackson Arnold. They knew he was kind of the guy in waiting at Oklahoma. And that's why a lot of Baylor fans are tuned into this, especially. Like we remember Jackson Arnold and being the heir apparent at OU. He was a Texas high school star in Denton for Geyer, not Ryan. I think it was Geyer. National Player of the Year. Like Texans know him. Baylor fans know him. And he's now this kind of sets up for Dave Aranda here. Like, hey, you got all this time to prepare for it. You know Hugh Freeze, you know Jackson Arnold, and they're literally saying, hey, guys, Auburn teammates, please take it easy on the guy. We want him to get a couple. All right, let's really build his confidence up. Tell him how great he was after practice. You know, maybe take him out for a malt and tell him how good he is at throwing the football.
Do you think a malt is better than a milkshake?
No. A frat.
There's a place in town where if you get a malt, it's 25 cents more than if you get a milkshake. And I'm going to be honest, I think it's worth it.
Really?
I think it's 25 cents better. Yeah. It's
not a ripoff, huh?
$2. $1.50, probably not doing it. $1, I might.
All right.
I think that's where I'm drawing the line.
Dollars where you're okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do for like donations.
$1.20, I don't think I'm doing it. I think
if they're asking me for a donation, if they're asking me for a donation more than $1, I'm probably not doing it.
Sure.
Make me sound good.
If it's if your total's like $6.58, are you rounding up to 7?
Round it up.
You will round up
all the time.
If it's always around 1, you rounding up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I
always say no. Am I a bad person?
No, you're not. I mean, there's sometimes I don't tip people, which I try to be really good with tipping. And when I do tip, I like to tip 25%, even though I'm poor. But like when I'm going to pick something up, I'm not usually tipping. I'm not tipping the concession workers.
You're not stiffing like a waiter or waitress.
No, never.
I got you.
It's just in tip culture. That's in next week's episode.
Yeah, we can do that next week.
Cool.
I was going to say something. Oh, some people are saying that Aranda hasn't been the same defensively since Auburn hired away Ron Roberts.
People have said that. I've heard that. I've really heard that. And honestly,
the timeline's not crazy.
It's kind of true. It's kind of true.
Is that why? I don't know. But like, it does seem like there's been a drop off since that point.
I mean, yeah, no, you're exactly correct. Like the next year they were 3-9. And then last year it was a good team, not a good defense.
Right.
And Dave has had his paws all over this. He was the defensive play caller last year, right? He was the only coach in America in Division I that was also the defensive play caller. He has had his fingerprints all over the transfer portal, guys they brought in and guys to be starters. And it's not been there. And something that in some annals of Baylor football, that people around the program complained about with both Jeff Grimes and Ron Roberts, who were the coordinators that year in 2022, was that they were a little mean. They yelled a little bit. And that was not great to hear from a fan standpoint, that they didn't want them there because he yells. Didn't love that.
Got it.
but lot less yelling in the room. I'll say that.
How loud are you able to speak in Baylor?
It's kind of a day by day kind of thing. No loud, no accents. They don't like that. I've run into that problem before. But typically anything over like bottom floor of the college library where you are allowed to talk, but nothing crazy.
Like don't yell, but like if you talk a little loud, you see your buddy like, hey, like that's probably okay, but like I'm not yelling at him. I'm just talking firmly at him.
Right.
You know
yelling though, like let's say they're
across the room.
Yeah. Across though, we're really pushing it there.
I gotcha.
And if you can hit the high notes, go for it.
All right. Head voice.
Yeah.
I have some weird Baylor questions, even weirder than that in a second, right here on this crossover edition of Locked On Auburn and Locked On Baylor. I was talking to my pastor, who's a Baylor alum, and he told me to ask you these questions.
Very classic, by the way. Love that.
We are so Baylor right now.
Yeah.
So there's a thing called the Baylor Line.
Oh yeah.
Where all the freshmen run out on the field.
Yeah.
And they form like a line for the team to
Can I real quick, give you, so I used to work for Baylor admissions and I used to have to describe this to prospective students. You want me to go through that real quick?
Then
you want me to do that? All right, Zach. I need you to do this with me because this is what I did with the students and the parents. Okay. I need you to close your eyes for me. Okay. After you put down that couple.
I'm not going to do that.
Just close your eyes. I want you to picture this, Zach. All right. It's your freshman year at Baylor. You're discovering everything. It's a lovely life. Let's put it in late October, okay? So you're not in 120 degrees, okay?
There's a nip in the air, if you will.
A little bit, okay? Nip state. And right before Baylor is about to play this football game, okay? You've got, the band is playing, the hype video's going, the smokestack's coming up. There's 50,000 people around you, and they are going nuts for you. And then you run. You run like you've never run before. You run a dead sprint about 120 yards, and you make a human tunnel for the Baylor football team to run through as they take the field at McLean Stadium. Ooh, doesn't that sound good? We're not even at the best part yet, Zach.
Oh, man.
Because after that, we're not going to put you up in the nosebleeds, okay? The Baylor Line section, we're going to put you in the best seats in the house. That's right. I'm talking right behind the visitors bench.
Yes.
Hold for parents to laugh. And then I say, so you can give some good Christian encouragement to those Tigers, those Horned Frogs, those Sun Devils for the next 3 hours. And the place is just loving it at this point. And then I say, obviously you all want to go here. Here's how you apply.
How many times do you think you've said that? Exactly.
Way too many, man. Like 150, 200.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In not even 2 years, we're going to.
I mean, it'll be the freshman right behind Auburn's bench. Like it'll be their first game ever.
Yeah.
But like I'm just going to be honest. Like the way you describe that with 50,000, like there are some Auburn people listening that like scoffed at that.
Oh, of course. Turned their nose up at 50,000, like to Josh Rosen or something.
Like, does this matter?
Does this matter? Like this game, this atmosphere?
Yeah,
any of
the freshman behind the Auburn bench.
No, it matters. I mean, look, again, I'm going to be honest and call a spade a spade. It works more on Jacksonville State than it does on Auburn. Or a team that's played in the SEC or big atmospheres or played in the college football playoff.
Right.
But I'll say this is going to be a big atmosphere for Baylor. Again, it's not like going in between the hedges or anything, but this is going to be a big atmosphere for Baylor. It's going to be a sellout. It's going to be as raucous as it'll probably be all season long, just because it's game one. There's a lot of hype around this. People are making it their first listen today and every day. And I tell them how great Baylor's going to be. And it is going to be a lit atmosphere.
Lit.
Some of the kids
no cap?
No cap.
Yeah.
It'll be bussin' at McLean.
The more I look at it, the more confident I feel about this game.
Oh, come on. Because of the 50,000?
No, I don't think.
Because it's freshmen?
Whatever. No, I don't think it has anything to do.
Because we're going to take it easy on Jackson?
I'm pivoting away from what we just talked about. I just think, like, the more we build this game up, like
it's me. I'm the Auburn's
roster is better. I think Auburn's roster from top to bottom is substantially better. And that's where I'm just kind of like hanging my hat on. And I think that's where I'm at on it.
Because see, Zach, to me, I'm such a quarterback guy. I'm such a simpleton. I love a good quarterback. And Baylor's got a better quarterback. And they have good weapons. I know Auburn's got some terrific weapons around Jackson Arnold. I get it. I think both these teams need to improve defensively.
Who would you say the number one weapon in this offense is outside of quarterback?
Well, it's Bryson Washington, the running back, but Josh Cameron is a legit 1,000-yard receiver and the best punt returner, one of the 2 or 3 best punt returners in the country.
So I'm fascinated to see how Auburn defends him.
Ooh, could this become a special teams game? Can we break down the special teams?
I think something weird is going to happen in this game Friday night in Wake, Auburn-Baylor. Like, I think there's a lot of weirdness that could potentially happen in this. But no, like, Auburn's corners, I think, are one of the most underrated position units in college football. Like,
they're too good for their own practice. Yeah. Some are saying that.
Some are saying that. But I just think if Jay Crawford matches up with someone in Baylor's receiving core, I just think they're a non-issue. I think they're a non-factor in this game.
Well, to that point, then I would say, okay, fine. Let's take Josh Cameron out of the game on that side of the ball. Let's take him out. I think that's tough, but let's play it. You also got a top 10 offensive
2 first names. Is that okay?
I hope so. I hope so. I got 3 of them.
What's your middle name?
It's another first name.
What is it?
I'm not telling you on this podcast.
No, you asked me to close my eyes. You tell me what your middle name is.
You didn't do it. That's fair. Oh, we're even. All right. I had a friend who can't come to my party this weekend. I didn't go to his wedding. I said we're even. But talking about this task at hand, Jake Spavital is one of the top 10 offensive coordinators in America. You know, we talk about all this time that Dave Aranda's gotten to prepare. It's the same thing for Spav. And he's got 3 of his top 5 pass catchers coming back. Michael Trigg will break this game wide open if Josh Cameron's taken out of it. That's a legit NFL tight end on their roster. Yeah. How about that? Yeah, a little SEC throwback to you. He is a beast. He's almost uncoverable. They do bring Ashton Hawkins back, who was their second leading receiver last year, gets his eligibility back. That was a big lift for the Bears. I just think with the scheme of Jake Spavital, he's going to find other options. I think the quarterback's good enough. I think the OC is good enough. I think the tight end, running backs, and the other receivers are good enough. Yeah. Good enough to make an impact. They're not Josh Cameron, but they can make an impact.
Yeah, I get it. I get the argument for it, for sure. I just think from a roster standpoint, Auburn's in a good spot. From a scheme standpoint, do I trust Baylor's coaching staff more than Auburn's right now? I do. Right now. On game day, I do. But I think
that's a real toss-up, man.
Specifically in the trenches, benefit Auburn. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Cam Stuart, and whatever your middle name is. How can people check out if they want more Baylor stuff? How can they find you?
Hop in that search engine, YouTube, podcast, Locked On Baylor, at Locked On Baylor on X, the site formerly known as Twitter. You can check us out there. We're trolling some people. It's trolling season. We trolled Tech the other day.
Texas Tech. You mean? Yeah.
Texas Tech. Not to be confused with SEC Powers, Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. Future SEC Powers.
Sure.
Former
just taking everybody's teams.
But that's where you can find us every weekday. We're going to be obviously talking a lot about building up this game and some more greater Big 12 stuff as well.
Yep. And for all the Baylor folks, if you want more Auburn stuff, Locked On Auburn, wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube, all that stuff. Like the video. Please subscribe to our channels. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn and Baylor. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at doing that. Locked On Jarrett Stidham.